Hello and welcome to another episode of Time About the Movies Flashback. And today we're flashing back to June 24th, 1988. There's one movie in particular that came out this weekend that is of noteworthiness, but here's the thing. I've pretty much covered this movie already in more detail than you could possibly get here. So if you want to go check that out, I'll have a link to it in the corner. So let's talk more a little bit about the behind-the-scenes history of this movie that we're going to be talking about here, and that is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Mommy's going to the beauty parlor, darling. But I'm leaving you with your favorite friend, Roger. He's going to take very, very good care of you. Because if he doesn't, he's going back to the science lab.
Cut! What the hell is wrong with that cake? Nothing with you, baby Herman. You were great. You were perfect. You were better than perfect. Just Roger. He keeps blowing his line. Roger, what's this? A tweeting bird? Tweeting bird? Roger, read this. Look what it says. It says rabbit gets plucked. Rabbit sees stars. Not birds. Stars! Can we lose the playback, please? You're killing me. For crying out loud, Roger. How many times do we have to do this damn scene? Go! I'll be in my trailer. Taking a nap. Excuse me,
Please, Raoul, I can give you stars. Just drop the refrigerator in my head one more time.
Roger, I kept on your head 23 times already.
I can take it. Don't worry about me.
Not worried about you. I'm worried about the refrigerator.
This is the tale of an up-and-coming movie star named Roger Rabbit and a down-and-out private detective named Eddie Valiant.
Booga booga.
Every moment they were together was a new adventure in trouble.
Find me, Eddie. Please.
It's a motion picture about friendship,
Get easy, will ya? Please, Eddie.
Don't tell me you're making a big mistake.
love,
Yeah.
compassion,
Well, I'm sorry I yanked your ears.
All the time you yank my ears.
murder,
Marvin Acme. The rabbit cacked him last night.
Remember, you never saw me.
sex,
I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything.
violence.
Tunes gets him every time.
You wouldn't have any idea where the rabbit might be?
Got a thing for rabbits.
The whole thing stinks like yesterday's diapers.
It's a comedy a little different from all the rest.
I'm a pig!
I'm a tune.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Touchstone Pictures and Steven Spielberg present a Robert Zemeckis film.
We tunes may act idiotic, but we're not stupid.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
So like I said, I've gone into full detail about this movie already, not but too long ago, because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And again, I'll put a link to where you can watch my full review of this movie. But this is the story of an alternate history Hollywood in 1947, where humans and cartoon characters referred to here as Toons coexist. And its plot follows Eddie Valiant, a private investigator played by Bob Hoskins, who's got a grudge against Toons because a Toon killed his brother, and he must help exonerate the cartoon character Who Framed Let's just tell you this out again. The character of Roger Rabbit, I almost did it again, voiced by Charles Fleischer, a Toon framed for murder. So like I said, I pretty much covered everything about this movie that I like and what I love about this movie, but I really don't know what else more I could say about this particular film that hasn't really been said already, but as I said in the review, as I said in that particular video, this was a film that took a long time to get together. Disney actually bought the rights to the movie about 7 years before the movie came out, and they had these writers, Jeffrey Price and Peter Steven, writing two different drafts of the script before bringing in Steven Spielberg and the production company Amblin Entertainment. And remember, this was back before Disney had their second renaissance. They were still trying to get back in the game after being very dormant for most of the 80s, and this was the film that really jump-started the animation renaissance of the late 80s and the early 90s again. And I mean, it basically helped Disney Animation get back on track because the year later we got The Little Mermaid, and we talked about the legacy that this movie has had in particular. I mean, this is a film that has so much history behind it, and one of the big things was that the film was actually greenlit when the film's budget decreased down to $30 million. The original budget was supposed to be at $50 million, but Disney thought it was too expensive for the time period, and so Jeffrey Katzenberg had argued that the hybrid of live-action animation would save Disney's animation department, and Spielberg's contract included an extensive amount of creative control, a large percentage of the box office profits, and Disney would keep all the merchandising rights. And Spielberg convinced Warner Brothers, Fleischer Studios, Harvey Comics, King's Feature Syndicate, Felix the Cat Productions, Turner Entertainment, and Universal Pictures to lend their characters to appear in the film with stipulations of how the characters would be portrayed. Specifically, with Disney and Warner Brothers, Donald Duck and Daffy Duck had to appear equally as equally talented dueling pianists, and Mickey and Bugs Bunny shared a scene. And apart from that agreement, original voice actors were brought in to reprise the roles. However, Warner Brothers executives were displeased by animators using the Daffy design to Bob Clampett, as they demanded that they use the design by Chuck Jones. So in response, Zemeckis had separate artists animate Daffy using Jones's designs to satisfy Warner Brothers in order to have Clampett's design in the final film. There were rights that they couldn't get. They couldn't get Popeye, they couldn't get Tom and Jerry, they couldn't get Little Lulu, Casper, the Terry Toons cartoons from the respective owners. And this was originally had a different director attached to it before Zemeckis came on board. Terry Gilliam was the one that was originally offered the chance to direct it, but he found the project too technically challenging. He later admitted it was pure laziness on his part and completely regretted that decision. And I mean, when you see what he did with something like Brazil and then The Adventures of Barry Munchausen, it would have been interesting to see what he would have done with something like this. But, of course, they hired Robert Zemeckis to come in after his success with both Romancing the Stone and Back to the Future, and Disney executives wanted to bring in Darryl Von Sitters to direct the animation, but Spielberg and Zemeckis decided against it, and eventually they hired Richard Williams, and the rest is kind of history. Zemeckis wanted the film to imbue, Disney's high quality of animation, Warner Brothers characterization, and Tex Avery-style humor. So in terms of casting, Harrison Ford was actually considered Spielberg's choice for Eddie Valiant, but his price was too high. They almost went to Chevy Chase, too, and then Bill Murray, and Eddie Murphy was also considered as well. All they eventually later regretted that decision. I mean, it would have been very interesting to see those guys do this role. I mean, Chevy Chase probably would have been very interesting. Bill Murray, I think, could have made this work, too. Eddie Murphy probably would have been interesting as well. And then they just went to say, hey, whoever's available, come get it. Robin Williams, Robert Redford, Jack Nicholson, Sylvester Stallone, Edward James Olmos, Wallace Shawn, Ed Harris, Charles Grodin, Don Lane. I mean, they went to several different people, and Bob Hoskins eventually was chosen for the role. And so in order for Hoskins to have a good performance, Charles Fleischer actually dressed up in costume as a rabbit and stood in behind the camera for most of the scenes. And Williams explained that Rogers was a combination of Tex Avery's cashew nut speared head, the swatch of red hair like Droopy's, Goofy's overalls, Porky Pig's bow tie, Mickey Mouse's gloves, and Bugs Bunny's like cheeks and ears. Kathleen Turner, of course, does the voice of Jessica Rabbit. I don't think I really need to explain that to you, but Tim Curry almost was Judge Doom, and he rejected because the producers thought him too terrifying. And then they also went to Christopher Lee. He was considering it, but turned it down. John Cleese was also considering it, but he said he deemed it not scary enough, which, I don't know, maybe he's got a point there. He probably wouldn't have made that work. Peter O'Toole, F. Murray Abraham, Roddy McDowell, Eddie D. Zine, and Sting were also considered for the roles. But then, of course, Christopher Lloyd eventually became the part. He compared it to his part as the Klingon commander in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. And, of course, the rest is history on that front, too. Let's see, anything else here? No, they bring up... trying to see if there's anything else here. I know this is just dead air here, but like I said, I've really covered pretty much everything that I've liked about this movie, and really it doesn't look like there's anything too much more I could talk about here. I mean, yeah, I could talk about the deleted scene where it was supposed to be a deleted scene where you had everybody going to the funeral for Marvin Acme, and that's where you would have had the cameos from like Tom and Jerry, Heckle and Jekyll, Chip and Dale, Felix the Cat, Superman, Mighty Mouse, Popeye, Olive Oyl, Bluto, you name it. And it was cut for pacing reasons at the storyboard stage, and probably for the best overall. But again, not really much more I can add to this movie that hasn't already been said already, because I mean, I've already covered this movie in general just recently, and so the only reason I'm bringing it up here is because it's the next movie on the list here, so might as well give you something for it. But other than that, that's pretty much all I can say about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's already been said. I mean, like I said, the review is already up there already, but some more information for you about the behind-the-scenes antics. So, yeah, not much more to say, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a classic movie, plain and simple. And so with that said, we're going to wrap up this episode of Time About the Movie's Flashback. I know it wasn't really a whole lot there, but again, I just covered this movie not too long ago. So next week we will have 4 movies to look at here that of noteworthiness that I have not yet to cover, including Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi. We also have John Candy and Dan Aykroyd in The Great Outdoors, Kevin Costner and Susan Sarandon in the baseball comedy Bull Durham, and also A World Apart. So we'll take a look at all 4 of those films next time. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the plays on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I'm off. I will see you guys next week, and until then, as always, take care.